Hi, everyone. My name is Rachel Lombardi. I'm a marketing communications writer at Aetna, a CVS Health company. So I'm under the Aetna side of things. CVS Health is our parent company. And for those that don't know, Aetna is a health insurance company based out of Hartford. So I'm originally from Wethersfield, Connecticut, so central Connecticut, and then I am currently in Danbury, Connecticut, so I'm a little closer to the New York line of things. So I went to Roger Williams University in Rhode Island. I graduated in 2017 and I studied journalism. And then I also minored in anthropology and sociology. So just a little bit about me, just some fun things that I did at Roger Williams, just so you can get to know me a little bit better. My career journey. So I'll start with the three bubbles at the bottom. So these were the internships that I had when I was in college. The first one is as a state desk news reporter for the Hartford Courant. It's the longest continuously published newspaper in the United States, based out of Hartford, Connecticut. So this was probably my favorite internship when I was in college. This was going into my junior year of college, the summer going into my junior year of college. So basically how I got this position is I just reached out to some of the on their website, they had a bunch of editors and their email. So I just reached out to them through there. There wasn't any formal like internship portal or something that I could apply to online. It was just kind of just reached out with my resume and cover letter and hoped for the best. And I landed internship there. So I covered community news throughout Connecticut, interviewing different sources, writing, editing, capturing photos, and leveraging social media to share news live. So it was just an awesome opportunity. I did everything from profile pieces on hometown heroes to community events to breaking news. So I did some more serious topic related stories to some more fun and cool stories. I interviewed government and town officials and state officials, community members, emergency personnel, all types of people. So it was a lot of fun chatting it up with people when I was at the Hartford Courant. I actually published 25 articles that summer when I worked at the Hartford Courant. Some of my most memorable and interesting stories is the first one I covered 9 high school graduations in a row. So over a period of 9 days, I went to 9 different high school graduations, taking notes and quotes of the valedictorian and the superintendent and the principal. And then once I got all the information that night, I would go to the Hartford Courant headquarters in Hartford, and I would work with the editor and write the story that night, and then it would get printed the next day. So it was just a very chaotic week and a half covering high school graduations. I actually went to UConn for a puppetry festival, and I interviewed the guy most famous for playing Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch on Sesame Street. So that was a cool opportunity. I also covered a story on the opening of an outdoor adventure park. So one of those parks with zip lines and those where you can climb through the trees on different ropes. So I went there and covered the opening ceremony of that outdoor ropes course. And actually, our photographer didn't show up that day, so I ended up being able. They asked me, "Do you want to go out and zip lining?" And so I got to go out and do that, which was kind of cool because I was getting paid and also getting student credits at the time as well. So I didn't know I was going to wake up that day and be ziplining through the trees. And so that was a cool opportunity. I also covered a story when they revealed the Phobia roller coaster at Lake Compounds. They had a big box at Lake Compounds on the grounds for a bit, with just kind of like teasing what the roller coaster was going to be. And then I got access to the park early in the day, and they opened up the box and revealed what the roller coaster was going to be like, what the theme and the colors were going to be. So that was a cool opportunity as well. And then the last couple stories that I just really loved when I was there is I had 2 stories that were printed on the front page of the Hartford Courant. And the first one was about a protest against violence in Hartford. And then the second one was a subway car that was pulled out after 9/11 and being brought to its forever home at a trolley museum. So that was an interesting story. I got to go on the subway car, and it was just pretty surreal, like looking at the advertisements in the car from 2001. So that was an interesting experience. So it was just awesome, like having my name in the newspaper, and also it was printed digitally, because my family and friends would open up the newspaper and see my name, and it was just a cool experience. So some things I learned from this internship is what it's like being in a newsroom, the hustle and bustle of just the work environment, and what it's like hitting real deadlines, working with editors, the process of print, experience, again, just working in a fast-paced environment, um, live tweeting, or now it's X instead of Twitter, and just writing stories. And it just gave me the confidence to be present and just get the right quotes and information, and just be kind of an aggressive journalist and get out there and get the information. The next internship I had was going into my junior year of college. I was an editorial intern for Turley, Connecticut Community Publications, and kind of doing the same kind of thing. I shared community news, interviewed sources, and organized content for their weekly publications. And then the last internship I had was the fall semester of my senior year. I was a marketing intern at Blount Small Ship Adventures, which is a small cruise ship company. They're based out of Rhode Island. So unlike some of those big cruise ships out there, they can go into small canals, and so I promoted their cruises through blog posts, email campaigns, and marketing strategies. So something I learned is just how to write in a more conversational, engaging, and persuasive tone, encouraging people to go on cruises, on their cruises, and travel more. So that was a cool experience. In general, I would say that my internships taught me that my heart wasn't 100% set on the traditional journalism route. I was kind of feeling more of the marketing side as a journalist, but I wanted a job that was a little more structured. I know that kind of the traditional journalism role kind of felt like more of a 24/7 job. You have to be, available all the time, and to get the story, and be able to share it live. And I kind of wanted something that was a little more structured, where I had my weekends and kind of my set days. So I ended up not going the traditional journalism route. So I applied for probably over 100 jobs my senior year. Actually, our professors encouraged us to apply to jobs each week. I think it was a school assignment, to apply to 5 jobs a week. So that was good that they pushed us to do that, because it is definitely tough, getting a job for sure. So I guess one thing I would also say when it comes to applying to jobs is, ensure that you have all the responsibilities that they list, all the core responsibilities. But then if they have like extra things on there that they prefer, maybe if you don't have all those things and it's something you're still interested in applying for, to definitely apply for it. Just go for it. Even if you might not have those extra things, as long as you have the core responsibilities and you feel like you would be a good fit for the role, definitely go for it and apply for the job. And then, so that brings me to where I am today. So I applied for, I probably applied somewhere during my fall semester of my senior year, and then I got a job at Aetna, and I started about a month after graduation. So I was a strategic proposal writer. So at Aetna, a CVS Health company, a health insurance company, and I worked on RFPs, request for proposals, and basically that's when a company will send along this RFP to all the main health insurance companies like Cigna, Aetna, United Healthcare, and within this RFP, request for proposal, there'll be 2 main pieces of it. The first piece is the questionnaire. So when they're asking, what solutions and products and programs can we offer that customer will be asking all kinds of questions about what solutions we can offer them and their employees. And then the second big piece of it is the financials piece. What's it going to cost the customer and their employees? So I mainly worked on the questionnaire piece of it, sometimes answering, maybe over 500 questions. Basically, I would use, we had a database of responses, and I would just pull in the response that would match that question. I would kind of search different things to answer the question. And then, yeah, I just answered questions all about our different programs and services, even some questions on the history of Aetna. So I learned a lot about Aetna and everything we have to offer. So it was kind of like the perfect position for me because I loved researching. I loved being detail-oriented. I consider myself a pretty detail-oriented person, so it was a good fit for me. So when I didn't have an answer in that database to plug into the questionnaire, I would go out to different subject matter experts throughout the company. So I was making connections with different departments and just learning about different topics throughout Aetna, about our programs and solutions. Everything from like our dental programs to our vision programs, mental well-being, learning about the Aetna website and app. So learning about so many different things. So after 4 years in sales support or as a strategic proposal writer, I got a message from an old peer from sales support that they had a job opening on their team as a marketing communications writer. So I applied for the job and I got it. And I was kind of itching at the time for something more creative. And this ended up being the perfect next step for me. So I joined the sales enablement team, and basically we help the sales teams create presentations and materials that they present in front of customers to gain and retain Aetna customers. So we help them work on finalist presentations and different meeting materials to enhance their customer conversations. So there's about 25 people on my current team. We're a team of account managers. So the account managers are focused on project management. So everything from setting up calls to creating a schedule for the project and just making sure everybody's staying on track. And then we have designers who are focused on the visual elements of each slide or presentation and materials. And then you have myself, who's a creative writer, and we're focused on the text and the copy of the presentation. So each project will have one account manager, one designer, and one writer. So the first step is we'll all get together and we'll have a kickoff call. At the beginning of a project, we'll get the customer name, and the account manager will set up the kickoff call. And then the key sales contact will also join that call. And we'll talk about the customer, what's most important to them and their employees, so that we can weave those things into the presentation and, to show that we truly know them and we're good partners. So the sales teams will share a lot about the customer, what programs and services they're interested in learning about. So we'll weave those topics into the presentation. So another thing I'll do as a creative writer is I'll go out to the customer website. I'm kind of like a little customer detective, going to the customer's website, looking at their mission, their values, their goals, what keywords pop out on their page. So if it's Apple, is it innovation and forward thinking? So I'll kind of just look at their website and see if there's any words that pop that kind of resonate with who we are at Aetna. We're innovative, we're trusted partners, we're flexible. So I'll kind of just look at those kinds of words and I'll weave that into the slides and the content. So I love going out and learning about all different kinds of customers, and I get to everything from hospital systems to restaurants to stores and banks, cities, even like an entire state in our public and labor sector. So it's kind of cool when I drive, down the road and I'm seeing different customer names that I worked on. So that's cool as well. Some of the challenges I would say in my role are, it's kind of what we're doing right now. We're refreshing our library of materials. So basically we have tons of like thousands of slides on all of our different things that we offer at Aetna are dental solutions, our vision solutions, digital solutions, where we're being innovative.